Because this episode specifically is going to get 3 million views on YouTube.
Yeah, if this one gets 3 million views, we'll definitely make a season 2. If not, it's up in the air. So you know what? Treat it like the finale, basically. But also treat it like there could be more. Like we're leaving season 2 open. It's a possibility.
Yes.
So how am I supposed
Producers
to
have
treat
yet
it?
to renew us.
Yeah, they hate us at this network, honestly.
Who's the network head? I'll get a hit out on him.
After I punched the executive, with kind of our relationship downhill.
They just had to keep us on to fill the 7 o'clock spot, but they got a new one coming up next season.
What a Dan move.
It's called a hypercubic inch of
the refreshment
dialogue.
stable
Noise.
was lacking.
A hypercubic meter.
So anyway, everything else being said, this is a cubic inch of sound, and over the past 22 episodes, we reviewed a whole lot of things, and now we're gonna talk about it. My name is Luke, and I didn't make a fun fact for this episode. I'm so sorry.
My name is Nick, and I'm flamin' hot.
I'm Kevin, and I'm the same as Luke, but not the same person. Just no fun fact.
Cool.
Anybody else?
No one else is here.
I'm Will. I'm Will, and my feet are cold.
I'm Dan, and I don't want to introduce myself.
I'm Connor, and
Always Connor. Connor, you fuck it all up, don't you?
oh, come on! I couldn't leave that as my fun fact. But I used to get made fun of in high school for making graphs, and now I made a bunch of graphs for this episode. So look where I am
Used to.
Ooh.
now.
Anyway, I'm
He's not
Tim,
in high
and
school anymore, Dan.
I'm Tim, and I'm less than 10 feet away from a fire extinguisher.
I think we all should be at all times, pretty much.
I'm
Yeah,
Kyle, and I live on a diet of milk and cum.
I hate that.
That's
Too
types
super
of liquid
explicit. If we weren't an explicit podcast, I'd have to go through and like censor that, and then people would be listening like, oh, well, like it's so much worse when it's censored, you know?
Yeah, we should actually just censor it over with Kevin's meow.
I live on a diet of milk and meow.
You know what, Connor?
Glad that made it in.
You bring up an interesting topic, which is the Kevin meow sound effect. See, this was an interesting one, because nobody knows the context. It's been lost to time. We just know that Kevin meowed during the Paprika episode.
I didn't even know
It
that.
doesn't count as me meowing. It's me saying meow.
You
How is
meowed,
that
that's a meow.
different?
That's a meow.
Well, one is it's a sound effect, but I just said the word that describes the sound effect.
It's onomatopoeia. A pop is a pop, Kevin.
What is supremely funny to me is just as when we recorded that epic Minecraft hardcore Let's Play, Kevin like prophetically predicted everyone's death like very accurately.
No, I didn't.
No, you kind of did. It was close.
He
But
predicted one person's death with half accuracy.
Yeah, that's close enough. That's
I
pretty
thought
damn
it was.
impressive.
I thought it was 2.
In episode 7 with Blue Heaven, Kevin almost like exactly foreshadows the Paprika disaster.
Well, to be
Which was
fair,
extremely funny.
I foreshadowed the Paprika disaster tons of times. I said, there will come a day when I'm just not recording, and then I'm like, hey guys, sorry I didn't record that episode.
I was hoping for it. I wanted it to happen.
Kevin, you're the worst.
Now we have lore, you know?
Yeah,
We do have
we
lore,
we have lost episode that we can put on our second
But-
channel when we become big.
It's kind of
They're
like
gonna
in
find
movies
it.
when like they reference things that you didn't actually see, like
Yeah.
like Lando mentions the Battle of Tanab, and you're like, ooh, what's the Battle of Tanab? That Paprika is our Battle of Tanab, I think.
They're gonna find that episode in like a BBC archive in like 20 years.
We should send all of A Cubic Inch of Sound to the Library of Congress.
It deserves to be there.
Yeah, after a lost episode, we just need an anti-piracy screen.
Imagine finding out that your grandfather, like some of your grandfather's content, is in the Library of Congress. You're like, oh man, what could my grandfather have possibly put in the Library of Congress?
2
then
seconds of titty.
I mean, before us, name one single podcast where a bunch of fellas just got together and talked about stuff randomly. I really think we were the first to do
This is
that.
an extremely generic.
right.
It's never happened before.
Never.
We were the
I
first.
think We really revolutionized the genre, and I think we need to appreciate that.
I
We were
haven't
the
listened to
first-
any, therefore it doesn't exist.
We were the first to have all extremely professional people that never just ate during the podcast for no reason.
We're also the first to have somebody have a stroke during recording.
They never
We
just
did?
forgot to get water.
Wait, what are you talking about?
And
Yeah, we
why-
don't remember which episode that was,
I
though,
just
so you have
met
to go watch all
Kyle
of them.
right now.
Oh, is that his quote? Okay.
Kyle's drinking Diet Coke.
No.
Oh, God.
What am I, a bitch?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
do you want a real answer to that question, or?
And the award for bitch goes.
So as
Oh, what did explain what
Kevin
that
just
meant?
referenced, we are giving out very prestigious awards today, right? The Cubic Inchies, given only to people who I was gonna say like really impressive people, but it's really just people who fit the criteria that we voted on. And some things we actually didn't vote on at all. We just kind of decided, you know. Perfect example of that first one being the Perfect Attendance Award. Now, this is a very interesting award, right? An award given only for the coolest and possibly sexiest person on the podcast who was there for every episode. You know, they watched every movie, they played every game. They didn't get very far in Night in the Woods, but like they got far enough, you know. Like it definitely counted. I mean, we're not gonna say that like it didn't. It's not like they watched Blade Runner at 2 times speed or anything. So therefore,
I think there should be an award just for that.
And before the award is given, I would just like
viewing of
before the award's given, I would just like to say people that present themselves awards are always sexy. They always are the coolest people in the room, and yeah.
I mean,
We're all in different rooms.
objectively.
Yeah, objectively the sexiest.
By default, Luke is correct.
So therefore, I'm giving the Perfect Attendance Award to myself because I was there for every episode. And you know what? I'm proud of it.
My clapping is picked up by my mic because I have a noise gate, but good. Woo!
Conversely,
I was in the background
Oh, made them
of
gold
the Mario
blocks.
Galaxy one. I think that should be counted for something.
well, you still wouldn't have been on every
You weren't on
episode.
dark.
I'm
weren't
just
on
saying it should
dark.
count for something. I'm not saying I should get the award.
Oh, okay, well, I'm not gonna make an award just for was in the background of the Mario Galaxy episode.
I respect you more now, Kevin. It's okay.
Thank you.
Conversely,
The
there are
least noticed person.
there are also people on the podcast who have better things to do. People who really don't have time to be like watching a movie or reading a book once a week and really don't want to hang out with a bunch of losers on the podcast. So much, in fact, that they couldn't even be here right now. Therefore, I would like to give the lowest attendance award to Kelsey.
Yeah,
Yay.
Kelsey.
We're all very
Oh, it's
proud
still
of
with
Kelsey
Goldblock?
for not being on the
I accidentally
podcast.
left the room.
Kelsey, thank you so much for not showing up.
We're really
Accepting
honored.
the award.
She really did commit to the act just to get
Yeah,
this.
Connor, make sure you give that to her next time you see her.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So these ones we can't really talk about who we voted for because we didn't vote for them. They were just kind of objective. But our next, most of them, we did vote on. Now, this next person was a fella who never seemed to show up to the episodes prepared. We would always start talking and they'd either be asking all sorts of questions or they would introduce themselves and say like, oh yeah, I basically didn't actually do the homework for this. It was kind of funny, but kind of concerning at points because that literally is the whole point of the podcast. So I'm
I think
giving.
we need someone relatable. That's kind of, he's our straight man.
So we all voted on this one, and therefore we're giving the unprepared award to Kevin. Yay!
Yeah, Kevin.
Woohoo.
I'm looking at the graphics here for the cube.
Never before has anyone been given such a prestigious award for doing the least amount of work.
I'm gonna frame this. I'm gonna put this on my wall.
Yeah, so I am putting images into the chat of all of the awards. I did little mock-ups with like a generic award that I found on Google Images, and then I put a Minecraft gold block on it because it's like a cube, you know.
Whoa.
I thought it was cool. Yeah, it has
It is
like
cool.
the
I
name
like
and
it.
everything. Nope, you're not allowed to save the image unless you
Oh,
are
well, I
the
already
person
did.
that it was
Okay, I'm
that
good.
it was given to, because otherwise
Can
you'd
I-
just be stealing their award.
Can we
That wouldn't
print
be
up
fair.
stickers of each award and then just put them on
Yo.
everyone's forehead?
Nice.
Maybe. Sure. I guess.
I'm gonna emote with me accepting
You know what,
the award.
Dan? That was a really, really stupid thing for you to say. I gotta say. And that really reminds me of the Walked All Over award. Now, there was one person in the group, right, who everybody seemed to just make fun of constantly. Whether because they were always saying stupid things, or maybe they were just saying reasonable things, and for whatever reason, we all just hated on them completely unnecessarily. But like we just saw, the Walked All Over award is being given to Dan.
Oh,
Nice.
congratulations, first time I ever won an award.
All right, let's go to the next award.
Oh.
I will say
in,
this.
in the case of Dan, he's not just a stupid person, you know, he's a very reasonable person. He just says very reasonable things in very stupid ways.
Then why does he have an emoji?
No, I don't
named
agree
after
with
him
that.
called Dan Stupid?
Really?
I disagree.
I
Dan
will say, okay,
disagrees. I'm sorry, the audacity of me to even say that.
I forgot to mention this before, with the Unprepared award, but while the Walked All Over award had like a few differing opinions, Unprepared was nearly unanimous, with only one person voting for themselves instead of Kevin. I mean, Kevin also voted for himself, but Will voted for himself for Unprepared.
Why do you feel like that, Will?
I didn't.
He was not
prepare
prepared to answer this question.
For our next category, it's one that's arguably the most important one. Somebody who always came to the podcast dressed as sharply as they possibly could have. Every time we saw them walk into the studio, we were like, "Oh man, did you just come from a wedding or something? Like, what is this?" They were just dressed so nicely. We
married
had
to their
to
job.
give an award to it. So for the best dressed award, I'd like to give it to Nick.
Oh, I'm
man.
honored.
Congratulations. Oh, you got the name
You did
spelled
it.
right.
Describe what you're wearing right now.
I'm wearing a T-shirt that says "front" on the back.
That's a good dress.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure why there was somewhat of a consensus for this one. Like, you got 3 votes, which is pretty impressive, you know. So congrats.
Thank you.
I mean, we did do a couple in-person episodes, but like, I don't even remember what people would have been wearing then.
Probably was wearing the same thing.
I
every single
remember
time.
Blade Runner like it was yesterday.
It wasn't yesterday. It was actually a while before that.
Well, I remember it like it was.
Oh.
And the next award.
And walked all over award winner to everybody, Dan, with his best comment.
Aww.
Can we present the award more than once?
No.
Aw.
And the next award is one that we didn't vote on. This was one that I just looked at the data and calculated out. I was interested in one thing, right? Now, we know that we could suggest things and then have people bring back the suggestions. I was thinking, who had the suggestions that most people brought back, you know? Like, those suggestions weren't necessarily voted on the first time, but we later went back and said, oh, you know what, I actually would have liked to do that thing. And it turns out that this person, the most copied, if you will, was also Dan.
Oh.
Dan's winning
Honored
left
to
and
be
right.
nominated.
Cultured man.
I would have thought it was like Tim.
I think
Yeah,
it's-
I was
it's
expecting to
Dan.
hear Tim.
Tim
I
had
think it's
some
exciting for
pretty
Dan.
good suggestions, but like Dan, I mean, I can look through the data if we really want to talk about it. But I remember like Howzu was originally one of Dan's
Yeah.
suggestions.
Mhm.
Foundation
Oh, yeah.
was originally one of his suggestions.
All I can say is that
Forgot about that.
if I could have, I would have brought back Mushroom and the Spore Wars every week.
Doom
I was just
was one of
thinking
his
that would've been
suggestions that got brought back. I think Gaslight did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I suggest Princess Bride?
That was me.
It was it's Kevin.
Oh, okay.
It was a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Dan's trying to take credit for me.
Yeah, I give it.
I mean,
Anyway,
he does have the
What's
most
his
copied
award?
this is one where we were actually talking about it a little bit earlier. How the people who present awards tend to be like the sexiest and like the coolest or whatever. And you guys might think that I was just pulling that shit out of my ass, you know? Like, oh, of course Luke can claim that he's the coolest. But now I actually have a right to, because you idiots voted me the coolest guy. So here it is. It's the coolest guy award. I got it. I have no fucking clue why.
How did you get this fucking award?
I don't believe it. This was great.
I want to recount, alright?
I voted for Nick, to be honest.
I also voted for Nick.
I also voted for... No, I voted for Connor.
Nick was definitely one of my votes.
Thanks.
Look at
You can only vote once.
I mean, Beth and Dress
Yeah,
are
you can
cool
only
and
vote
tend to
once.
go hand
I
in hand.
honestly can't believe it. Luke's out here trying to steal this election. We all know that Nick won. We
The
all know
Hamill
that
crime
Nick won.
family's stealing the election.
If you take out like the cubic Inchies part, it'd be a pretty good like reaction image.
What? What? I'm looking at the graph here. This
I
is
don't,
fake.
I don't believe
You
it.
guys voted for this. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, raise your hand if you voted Luke.
Hey, if you
I
look at
voted
it
Luke.
not
I voted
like...
I
If you don't
must have
look at
voted
it-
Luke.
I just want to say, if you look at it not like Luke got 50% of the votes, and instead you look at it like Connor and Nick as cool guy and vice cool guy also got 50% of the votes.
Yeah, Nick, as co-cool guys, I think we should like oust Luke, pull Luke coup d'etat, and just take over the title.
I think that's a good idea.
Well,
Okay,
we have
so-
an anti-piracy policy, so no mutinies. But anything
Yeah.
else.
I don't know. Am I allowed to name names here? Am
Go
I
for it.
allowed to
Yeah.
pull out who voted for who?
I forget who I voted
Go
for.
for it.
Connor's
Connor,
libertarian.
Nick, Will, and Tim all voted me, and then me and Kevin voted Nick, and then Dan and Kyle voted Connor.
Yeah, well, I
Wow.
voted for you, but now that I know that I was in the running, I decide not.
Well, you not know that
Yeah,
you
you know,
were
actually, I'm
running,
gonna
Nick.
pull a self-vote.
Well, you know
I
what?
knew
I
you
actually
wait by-
originally I had the form where that you could edit your response, but then I realized like, oh wait, since I'm making these images of like the awards and stuff, I don't want people to just like change their votes later on, so I took that out. So you're not allowed to.
Congratulations, Luke.
But more important than coolest guy, because does being cool really matter on a podcast?
yeah, that's all that
What-
matters.
What really matters is who's the funny one, right? Because the funny one is the one who keeps people coming back. The reason why you'd want to listen to the podcast in the first place, at least when it's a comedy podcast.
Wait,
I
there's
mean,
a
I'm
reason?
sure. Yeah, for some people there is. So really, this person, you know, they were always cracking jokes. They were always making us laugh. They're always making us go, ha ha, hoo, you rascal, settle down, buddy. You don't need to joke about everything. Therefore, I'm proud to present the Class Clown Award to Nick.
Nice.
Yay.
Congratulations, Nick.
I'm proud of you.
You did it.
Congrats.
For the
As
record, I voted for myself on this one.
I didn't vote for you. So that's probably
Oh,
What
okay.
a funny guy. Oh.
As Nick walks on the stage, his shoes make this noise.
I thought you were
That's a
gonna
fun
try and
song.
just like make the noise with
Can
your
I
mouth.
change my
I was
vote to
gonna-
Kyle? That one
Yeah.
really swayed me.
I honestly, okay, no hate on Nick. I actually did vote for Kyle for Class Clown. He gives
Dab
me
on
big
him.
Class Clown energy.
Do we
That's
want to
fair.
do a Yankee swap of our awards at the end?
What? No, why would we do that?
Do a secret sin of our award. Everyone gets
And
another
the-
person. Give them
And the
your
coolest
award.
guy award presented to Luke Hamill is presented to Dan Bradley.
This is why I
Proudly
voted for
presented
you,
to
Will.
Luke Hamill. Just regular presented to Dan Bradley.
You know, I'll take it.
So another very important part of the podcast was making suggestions, right? Because we all knew. I mean, I told Kevin a lot of times, like, hey, Kevin, just, you know, chill out with, like, people don't need to vote for your suggestions, you know? Just, like, put in what you think would be cool and, like, just, you know, just be chill about it. But now I've completely changed my mind, right? The suggestions were really what was keeping this podcast alive. And without the suggestions, we would have been nothing. Wouldn't have made any sense. So
not
I did a
to me.
few different ways of trying to measure the best suggester. I won't get into it specifically here, but basically it was how much weight to put into if somebody brings back a suggestion and then it gets voted, you know. I also like did it relative to how many times the person did suggest, which means that if you suggested a lot, like me, then your suggestions would technically count for a little bit less, which I was worried about because I was worried there might be like some crazy outlier, but I looked at it and nothing was really an outlier. I feel pretty pleased with the results that happened, but I am going to give this to 3 different people at once because we all like there were different people it could have been, and you know what I said, like I don't care.
The award better be
you're
3
all
different gold ingots.
No, they all look the same. I'm sorry.
Monster.
So the 3 notable suggesters of the podcast are me, Kyle, and Tim.
Huh.
Hey.
I don't even remember this being an option. Well, not an option because we didn't vote on it, but I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't vote on it.
You know, that's funny. We did 1 album.
Yeah, well, you suggested other things that were good, so
Yeah, well,
you know, be proud of that.
no.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
okay.
I don't know.
Hey, we did Paprika.
Alright, let's move on.
Okay, another thing that is arguably the most important. This is Connor, I don't know what kind of calculations you did based on whatever you had. I honestly have no idea what you fucking did other than what we saw last night. So I don't know if you calculated anything as far as people go. But this is the last of the official people awards that were given out. The rest are just awards for topics, and topics don't have feelings, so like it doesn't really matter, you know, unless the creators are gonna see it, which I don't think they are.
No, the creators of 100 classic books are gonna be so sad.
So this last award is for maybe the most important thing, which is giving insightful comments during the episode, because you know it's one thing to be funny, it's one thing to make good suggestions, but where would we be if we didn't have good content? You know, if we weren't making real leaps of logic and analyzing all the movies and shit that went through this god-awful podcast, we would be nowhere. We'd be nothing. This one I really didn't want it to be a tie. It wasn't supposed to be a tie, but it was a tie. It tied. 2 people tied, and I'm like, there's no way for me to do a tiebreaker between these, so I'm just gonna give it to both of them. So the 2 insightful comments go to Nick and Kyle.
Oh,
Hey.
shit.
Yay!
Ooh.
Thanks.
You go.
I really
Merry
thought the 2
Christmas.
seconds the titty was gonna get me there, but I guess
It can only carry you so far, Kevin.
Well,
Kevin,
also,
to get a cubic inch, you need more than just 2 seconds of titty.
oh shit.
This is incredible. I didn't expect this. So, I'd like to thank the 1 album we did. That's it. Nobody else.
ooh, the album where Kevin was like, "Oh, we're gonna have nothing to talk about," and then it was our longest episode by far.
I didn't have anything to talk about.
Well, you didn't fucking listen to it!
I did. I listened to the whole thing. Why do you keep saying I didn't listen to it?
All right.
Okay,
chill.
never mind.
Kyle, you're gonna get the most heated award, okay?
Angriest person award.
Actually, if we did have a most heated award, it would 100% have been Kyle, and we all know that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, wait. Because at the beginning of the fucking episode, didn't Kevin say something like he listened to it once through and was half paying attention?
I listened to it once through.
Okay,
I
I'm
also
sorry,
listened to
Kevin.
it once through. I think
I listened to it 3 times.
Oh, he didn't
listen to it.
look at the lyrics. That's what it was. He didn't know what they were saying.
It's fine. We don't have to
Yeah,
go back
I don't
to
know, I think-
from
I'm not-
episode
no,
I already
14.
won the most unprepared.
I'm not. No, I'm not trying to fucking.
Thank
make
you
it
for
look like
giving me
Kevin-
the award. We can move on.
Kevin.
Kyle
I'm
is
not trying to make
lobbying
it look
for
like
Kevin
you're
to
a
get
bitch.
it.
Alright,
I'm just
so-
trying to be like, how was he the most unprepared for that episode specifically?
Okay, so for all of our next awards
Sorry,
are
man.
going to be related to either the topic or the episode. This first one was gonna be like an actual award, but I'm not even gonna call this giving an award because it was for the best topic, and we had a 5-way tie, which is kind of excessive as far as ties go. So I'm just gonna name off the things, and you can call it an award. I guess these are like our prime recommendations, intended to be the just the most well made of all of the things that we saw. The ones that you'd really recommend to a friend, the ones that were good. So those
scary.
5 things there are Super Mario Galaxy, the Grand Budapest Hotel, the Lighthouse, Zelda Majora's Mask, and The Princess Bride.
Highway Blossoms didn't win? You fuckers didn't vote for it?
I voted for it.
I might have. I'm not sure. I actually don't think I did,
Nothing.
to be honest.
I don't think I did either.
I gave it that Steam review. That's all you can expect from me.
I can't believe Clone High was robbed like this.
So Highway Blossoms got 3 votes. Dan, you didn't even vote for Clone High. It got 0.
I didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. I withdraw my complaint.
Wow, that got
His
robbed.
vote was robbed. Dan's vote was robbed.
I
So,
robbed myself.
For everybody listening at home as well, he also did this yesterday when he said Gaslight got no votes. Like, he could have voted for it and then didn't, so this is the second time.
Yeah, he did.
I can't account for myself. I don't look at me.
Our next award is for basically sometimes you watch a movie or you play a game or something and you're like, man, that was really, really good. Like I want to like rewatch that right away, or like, oh man, I want to do that again. This is for the complete opposite of that. This is for the thing that you look at and you read it and you're like, man, that was okay, but like I am absolutely never doing that ever again. I'm just not. So this was the Never Again award, and it is going to Blue Heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of saw that one coming.
That's the only thing I voted for.
I kind of expected Dark, to be honest.
I was thinking
sorry,
Will.
Dark got 3 votes, Blue Heaven got 5, everything else got 2 or less.
The only one that I got in. Woo.
Let's see. The next one is for a topic that we might not have thought was overall the best. We might not have thought that it was the most well made or anything, but we did think, man, I feel really strongly about this. I have a deep personal connection, probably because of nostalgia. Looking at the winner, but the personal connection award goes to Lego Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
really?
pretty fair.
Sounds about right.
I'm happy. I voted for that one.
Yeah, I like that
You-
one. That's a
I
good
also
one.
voted for that one. I thought it was going to go to
How many
Mario.
votes did Galaxy get?
So, Galaxy was actually in second. That got 5 votes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was, Lego Indiana
I was-
Jones got 6, Galaxy got 5, Clone High and Highway Blossoms both got 4.
Yeah. I was expecting like a toss up between Galaxy and Indiana Jones, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is a pretty good game. Both of them actually are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario Galaxy may be a little bit better, but our next one is going to actually not one of the episodes that we did, but one of the ones that we didn't do. Of course, we had a million fucking topics that we had suggestions for that we could have done, and of course a million of those didn't get voted, and so we never did them. Some of them got brought back, and some of them still didn't get voted for. But this was overall with the big list of just all of the possible topics that we could have that had suggestions. We just voted for the ones that we liked, and so this is the What Could Have Been award, and could be the next episode. Who knows? Goes to Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Hey.
That
Very
makes sense.
exciting. I think
This
he
one
deserves
actually, this one got 6 votes. The next, all the other ones only got 4 at the most, so that's cool. The next tier was Pokemon Yellow, SCP Foundation, Over the Garden Wall, and Nightmare Before Christmas, which all are really good things that we could have done episodes on.
Indeed.
Yeah,
I'm-
we have-
I
we have-
really realized how much my vote actually matters.
Yeah, it was just you.
Kevin, you got a valuable lesson in democracy today. I
Like,
hope
if I
you appreciate
didn't
it.
vote, for this one, it wouldn't have won.
How did you get that out of that? It had 6 votes, and everything else had 4 votes.
Well, no. Kevin, instead of spreading his 5 votes around, he's put all of them on Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
And also, logically, if he had voted for one of the ones at 4 votes, taking a vote away from this and 1 to that would have tied him.
Yeah, that's true, but why would he do that?
Because he's Kevin.
Well, I didn't want it. No, I wanted this one to win. This one's fine. I like it.
No.
I just didn't know how much power I had, It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Please take away Kevin's right to vote. I'm making a petition.
All right, and we have one more award to give out to an episode, but it's actually 2 awards. I lied.
Oh my god!
This is for an episode that was objectively memorable. It actually tied for memorable episode. I didn't want to give out memorable episode because of that. It actually was objectively memorable. Maybe our best episode, and maybe at the same time a really embarrassing episode. What does that mean? I guess we all agree that this was definitely the best episode of the podcast, but at the same time, one that we really wouldn't want other people to see, and one that we really wouldn't want to, advertise as what it is. Probably, if I had to guess, because of the media being shown. And that episode is, of course, the Highway Blossoms episode.
Kevin just died, I think.
He's so happy.
I think it's really funny that this one got both, to be honest.
Yeah.
So where's the award? I want to see it.
Tried to be a part of it.
You don't get the award for Highway Blossom. If we're giving it to anyone, we'll give it to the Highway Blossoms developers on Twitter. Okay, you know what? I'll make one just so that we can send it to the Highway Blossoms devs.
Okay, are you also going to send it the most embarrassing episode one, or just
they don't need to know about that.
No, send them both.
You should send them both.
Do you think that Nintendo's gonna want an award for making Mario Galaxy and Majora's Mask? I mean, they're probably gonna be really sad if Studio Elan gets an award and they don't.
I mean, they might also be upset that they tied with Lego Indiana Jones.
You think Wes Anderson's gonna get upset if he doesn't get one for the Grand Budapest Hotel? I mean, he probably won some other less important awards for that, but if you don't get the cubic inchi, why bother?
He didn't get a cubic meter of gold, alright? I think you would rather have that.
I think Grand Budapest won Best Picture that year, so I don't think the cubic inchi is really going to be that fucking big of a deal.
Dude, who the hell watches the Oscars, though? I mean,
dude, it's not even a picture, it's a movie. It's not even labeled correctly.
There's a lot of pictures all at once.
Which frame of the Grand Budapest Hotel won the best?
Probably the one where Dimitri walks toward the camera.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's not too much to discuss as far as the statistics of these, other than the fact that Lego Indiana Jones and Highway Blossoms tied for memorable episode, and they both also won other things. So really, Highway Blossoms got memorable episode, best episode, and embarrassing episode, which kind of encompasses all 3, something. I don't know.
All 3 spheres of enjoyment.
It's
spheres of enjoyment at the cubic inch of sound.
Cubes of enjoyment. Bro, what the fuck is the atmosphere? I only know the Atmos cube.
The Atmo cube.
That sounds awesome.
Anyway, so Connor, you had some statistics you wanted to show us, right? You had some interesting findings after analyzing some of it with your science and your magic and your logic.
It's kind of like a little cursory analysis. It's kind of fun. It was specifically focused on looking at different types of runtime, because we had kind of segmented the podcast into a cold open, where we fade in talking about something else, and then the fun facts section where we all kind of introduce ourselves. And before I start talking about the runtime, the fun facts were really fun, because in episode 17, Night in the Woods, you brought up that Kevin, would a lot of the time, his entire fun fact would just be a negation of someone else's. It'd be very lazy. And I was like, I wonder how often that is. And so out of the 15 episodes that Kevin took part in, 11 of them just didn't really have any fun fact, including quotes as, I don't. No,
I could have done that this time.
And I don't. And my favorite, no, nope. So 73% of the time that Kevin was in this, he did not bother to make a fun fact. Despite that, over time, the length of the fun fact section seemed to increase pretty drastically. You can see by the graph on the left, for those who are looking at it, it increases. It's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so the gap between the end of the cold open and the end of the fun facts, obviously, is the length of the fun fact section. They get a lot longer. What is funny is the total runtime of each episode really nicely follows a cubic approximation. So they spend a little while getting longer. We max out with Dear Wormwood, and it's all downhill from there. There's also some nice. There's a question mark where Paprika was because rip.
Nobody knows how long Paprika was.
Yeah, we will never know. Very sad.
We could have been there for like days. I mean, we wouldn't know.
We'll have to talk.
Yeah.
I remember eating multiple meals over the course of Paprika.
We gotta calculate
Because
the
of how
limit
hungry I got.
as X approaches Paprika.
And actually, I mean, like, episode 15 and episode 17 are actually pretty close in
Yeah.
in noise. So it looks like a pretty nice gap.
So it should be just about an hour and 3 minutes long.
Yeah,
based on
we can interpolate. Yeah,
Interpolate?
interpolate. Yeah,
Yeah, interpolate.
That's a word?
Yeah, you
it's
never
like
heard that word?
extrapolating, but
No.
I want to highlight for the viewers at home that Connor has also compiled a list of lengths of the episodes and has very graciously put in if the episode very specifically had a topic that we distracted ourselves with. And I'm not going to say any context. You get no context. I'm just going to list them. Dan Testosterone.
I remember that.
Connor
Yeah.
1/2 IRA. Third favorites, as in movies. Vampires.
no context. Hey.
Vampires / JoJo Siwa, Stuart Big, Kevin Steele, and Emus. It's not us, it's you, me. Voting is a civic duty.
This sounds like Jeopardy topics. I'll take Stuart Big for 1,000.
Death Wiki, Tim and Carrots. Wiki Greedius! Bitcoin in the Woods, Devil's Lettuce, Cracker Crunches, Glasses Lying and Stealing, Meow, Hypoxia and Hypnotism. Are we all dead tonight? Lesbians and Grandfathers, Rodents of Unusual Size, and this is an episode that I was on. I don't even know what the fuck. Lion Hegemony.
I don't know either. What the fuck?
It rings a bell.
The cold open was you guys discussing, like the power structures of lions, and then it ended with you deciding that even a trillion lions could not best the sun. Kind of a classic argument. I think of all these, the only one that like showed up multiple times, at least in the cold opens, and fun facts, was lesbians and grandfathers. So I think that's the most like insightful trend we figured out throughout this entire podcast. Lesbians have really good relationships with grandfathers.
I gotta know. I don't need to know what Wiki Grievous is. Why is it in all caps?
It's Wiki Grievous.
I can explain
exactly
what
what
it
he's
is.
talking about.
Yeah, Dan's mispronunciation because
I don't say grievous anymore. Okay, that was like a 9th grade thing. You guys are whole wiki. I stand by.
No, why would you stand by it? It's wrong.
Dan, this is why you got the Walked All Over award.
I stand by it.
Yeah, the reason why it says wiki is because Dan pronounces wiki, as in Wikipedia, as wiki. And then in the Lighthouse, the profession that they have is wiki. And he pronounced it right there. And we all yelled at him for being an idiot.
Yeah, can we introduce an objectively wrong award? I feel like that would be pretty good.
I will take that award with pride.
Why did you fucking hyperlink our YouTube and Spotify? We're the only ones that have access to this document.
Well,
I
that
can
could
put this in
change,
the description so they can, just in case they want to go
Yeah.
from YouTube to this back to
Also,
YouTube.
because Connor said that he was gonna put it on Reddit.
I might.
Man,
post
also-
it. I don't know if I'm that cringe.
No,
but-
you should. I think it'd be funny.
You should.
Is there a cubic inch subreddit yet?
No, why
No.
would there be? What? Who's gonna
we have
post?
we have a huge cult following.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah,
the
the only
cult is
people.
mine, and
the only
I
people
run the
who-
cult.
Yeah,
It's specifically the thuggy from Indiana Jones 2. It's them. Where Kalima?
Another interesting thing to note is the number of participants over time, because you can see it just goes down. Our very first episode, we only had 3 people. We had like a really good streak of 4 episodes where we had 6 participants, and that was like, whoa. And then it just kind of fluctuated with a downward trend.
Yeah, that was the week I went to school.
Surprisingly, the average number of people per episode was over 4. It was like 4.2. So that's at least comforting.
Yeah.
But it tanked.
Who here is a fifth of a person?
Let's, this brings me back to my very first fun fact I ever shared on this podcast. It was a simpler time.
Yeah, what
I miss
was it?
those days. That I was nominated to play the role of testosterone in the 8th grade production of Puberty because I had an unusually
yes.
deep voice for an 8th grader.
Also,
Actually,
You still do.
Let's
Yeah.
I
I
want Dan's testosterone for 200.
I
On
guess
average per episode, we lost 0.075 people. That's really sad.
I guess when you think about it, we would all have unusually deep voices for 8th graders if we
I'm
just were
actually-
in an 8th grade class.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Luke?
I'm very curious. I'm very curious. I wanna. If anybody remembers their first fun fact, can we like go over them as a retrospective?
Bro,
I don't
fucking.
remember.
You should have
Okay,
told
I
me this
remember
before.
mine. I remember.
I think I have a pretty good chance of it just being, and I don't.
My first.
No,
fun fact-
knowing Kevin's because I, scrupulously poured over every goddamn Kevin quote in the podcast. For Indiana Jones, it was just I speed ran this.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
I remember one of Nick's first fun facts being like he's climbed every mountain in the world. Oh yeah.
Also, I watched a half of a speedrun at times 2 speed of Lego Indiana Jones.
yeah.
That must have been the fastest playthrough of all time.
Back when I actually gave a shit about fun facts, my first fun fact was I think it was I have exactly 60 minutes left to live. So.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. I
You're a
remember
liar.
Yeah, it is cool looking at the episodes where like one fun fact started like a really long conversation. So like the Blade Runner episode, talking about Dan's role as the manliest molecule, took like an extraordinarily long amount of time. And then me when I brought up that I wanted, in case the FBI is watching, I definitely don't have any car bombs. But
I like how you
that
put
was
your
a
voice down to that.
discussion yeah,
You saying that sounded so much more suspicious than not saying it.
Well, I was like, what's a joke I can make about the IRA? And then it was just like, this is a bad direction to go.
Connor, I'm sure they didn't hear you. You lowered your voice.
Yeah, I think that was,
Yeah, they
On the
couldn't. They
record-
wouldn't be able to make that.
The
On the
FBI
record-
agent listening in on Spotify, like, oh, what did he say? Oh, whatever. I guess I'll whatever.
On the record, I just want to say, in case the FBI are watching, Connor is not the Nashville bomber. That's it. That's all I need to say.
Thank you. Thank
A
you.
little,
Yeah.
a little too soon.
Hmm.
Hey, nobody died. Don't worry about it.
Ugh.
You worried about the AT&T building? Ah, come on.
Can we lose this episode as well?
That would be so awesome if the first finale got lost.
The only
The
finale.
first finale.
Well, it would have to be if we lost it. I guess we're like, I gotta make another one.
Well,
Yeah.
if we lost it, then the finale would be Hauzu. I'm not re-recording.
No, the
this
finale would
shit.
be Luke laughing into a microphone for 4 minutes, being like, "I fucked up."
Yeah.
We'd all have to reopen our awards like kids on Christmas morning. Like, oh my god, I got
Oh.
coolest guy.
Wait, shit,
I
that's-
posted already.
That's what I forgot to talk about. I actually totally meant to mention this, but since it wasn't in my notes because my notes were only the awards that I'm actually giving out. So I want to point out that there was a dropped the ball award that was intended to be given to somebody who really fucked up during an episode. Here's the thing. This was one of 2 targeted questions, right? And it was very specifically targeted towards me. I was writing it like I think at first Connor, we can see you playing
Connor,
chess.
you're still drinking.
Connor. Are we not?
And the ball award goes to Connor Jordan.
That is not a ball drop. That's just a ball fumble.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a.
It was
Fumble
very
recovery.
specifically like I was kind of writing it at first, like intending for it to make it. Oh, it could go to anyone, but. You know, as I was writing it, I realized nobody really had a huge fuck up except for me fucking up the Paprika episode. Like, that is a very large, very obvious, way worse than anything else that happened fuck up. And if I don't get the drop the ball award, then, like, what the hell is even going on here? Here's the thing. I didn't. You idiots voted Kevin, and I don't know why. I don't know what Kevin did that...
He watched Blade Runner at 2 times
That's
speed.
not a fuck up. I purposefully did it.
Yeah, well, I feel like drop the ball could very easily be misconstrued to be the same thing as
Unprepared.
Yeah, so
Yeah, and when
Kevin
my
Newman's
thought
doing,
process was like, with the Paprika thing, we like kind of all fucked up by not also having a simultaneous recording
I was
So,
sick.
like,
Nick, you weren't there.
for Paprika.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was.
Oh.
You're just gonna tell Nick he wasn't there?
I mean, Nick could have recorded too. My excuse is that I was sick and on drugs and out of it, so that's fine. But,
See,
yeah,
I voted for myself because there's recording of me saying meow on the internet.
it still makes
Who the
no
hell
sense to me.
cares?
I don't know how that's a fuck up. Like,
Listen,
Major
That's
fuck up.
Kevin,
that's
you-
gonna
Kevin is
follow me
running
for the rest
the-
of my life. I'm gonna be at a job interview, and they're gonna be
Kevin-
like, "You see, you meet all the requirements, but like, do you say meow like all the time? Like, wait, it's on here on the internet. Do you say that?" And I'm like, no, that was a one-time thing. All right, it'll never happen again, boss.
Well, we
Whoa.
watched the
It was a
entirety
different
of a
time.
cubic inch of sound, and actually during episode 16, Paprika, which was only 4 minutes long, and you weren't on, there's a recording of you saying meow. Kevin, I just want to let you know that your bigger fuck up was not voting for me for the Drop the Ball award, because if you did, then I would have won, and everything would have been fine. You know, I could have just lied about it. I
Listen,
could have
you
just
targeted
said that
2
I won.
awards at yourself. Coolest guy,
Wait.
you now drop the ball. You,
You know,
want to give
Luke-
yourself another
Wait,
award?
wait.
too?
He
I
was
didn't
perfect
target
attendance.
cool. I am honestly,
I guess
I'm
the question
honestly
here is,
shocked that I got
you know
coolest
we
guy.
were trying to make a drop the ball award, and it got screwed up. So someone here dropped the ball.
Luke.
This is a meta.
Yeah,
this is a meta.
I mean,
Luke
listen,
literally
all-
just said that it was me.
I will take the responsibility for, I guess, not wording drop the ball well enough to clue you guys in on the fact that it was obviously meant to be one
Can I
person.
get my award at least?
I
Sure,
want it
yeah,
fair
I'll
and
make you a fucking
square.
award.
I want to point out real fast. I've been staring at Connor's data for the past 15 minutes. Foundation is the most average episode by far. It's 10 seconds
Yeah.
off the average total runtime. It's 7 seconds off the average end of fun facts, and it's 1 second off the average cold open end. And it almost hits every single average.
It's because
with
I wasn't
like
there and I'm not average. I'm not like the
10
other podcasts.
seconds.
Yeah,
That's
Kevin,
like
like
Kevin's
far
the
the-
wild
Of
card.
every episode.
Although Foundation is also wacky because it's a book and we don't read apparently.
I
So,
started reading
what is
the
interesting
next
is-
book.
I do like how that episode I'm an English major and I elected not to read that book.
It was good. I enjoyed it a lot.
I was planning on reading it, and then it was the day of, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Kevin, we literally had one piece of advice, which was, oh yeah, it's pretty quick, just don't try and read it all on the same day.
You see, I think subconsciously I was never going to read it. Like I knew it was impossible.
I had also computed the average runtime per person for each episode, which basically ends up just being it's the total runtime divided by the number of people. And so Foundation, being the most average but with the fewest amount of people, had the most average runtime per person. So I guess it's the most kind of equitable.
It's the
Yeah.
densest episode.
It's yeah, which I guess is fitting for a whole book.
And I didn't watch it.
A whole book.
You didn't watch it?
I don't know. Foundation is
Oh, yeah, the show hasn't
a
come out yet.
faster read
I-
than Dark is a watch. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You are my mother, Will. I tell my mother all the time. I'm like, "Hey, mom, I want to show you a song," and she's like, "I can't watch music every fucking time."
Okay, but this is a book, and you said what? That's a little bit
I
different
meant
than
the
showing you a
podcast.
song.
It's a podcast. You listen to it.
I can't believe the season finale. We get a plot twist as crazy as Will is Kyle's mother.
It wasn't as crazy as the Will plot twist where he said, "I'm Will," and for a year I was 3. That was crazy.
Actually, can I get an award for being the first dead on the Death Wiki?
First dead.
Actually, Luke technically is the first dead because he was never alive. So,
Well, I mean, like
Kevin was added to
in
the
meta,
Death
I was the first.
oh, you
killed.
mean you were the first one added? Yeah, that's fine. Kevin's the first added to the Death Wiki award.
I mean, really, if I'm gonna be making up new awards to give out, it should probably be to Connor and Will because they didn't get any.
True.
Will is the best roommate.
I
award.
offered one.
Connor does most statistics award.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's
biggest
a good
nerd
participation
award.
trophy.
Yeah, and like I said, Will gets best roommate because he's everyone's roommate.
Will gets
That's
Fat
fair.
Clown 2.
I'll take anything, honestly.
You know what? I think Will would be a pretty good roommate, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. He'd do the dishes.
Like the
I wish
person
you were my
who could
roommate,
be
Will.
the
Thank you,
a
Kevin.
good roommate to the most amount of people, I think would be Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I that's also why he was able to be the Dark Lord's roommate, and it was just fine. Like,
Yeah, that is part of the lore.
yeah,
Look it up on the Death
What?
Wiki.
yeah, you were the main villain of the podcast's roommate for a time.
You,
No
you
way.
said that he like always cleaned the bathroom on Sundays, and that was nice, but he would keep a lot of dishes in his room, and that was annoying.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was a long time ago. I almost forgot.
Luke, are you emoji entrepreneur
Yes.
on the Death? Okay, good. there was
They're talking about the Roblox
I-
one.
Me too.
Right,
I was
like,
like, how
wait,
did you find
what?
that?
It is the year 2050. A man approaches Luke on the street. Are you the emoji entrepreneur on the Death
Okay,
Wiki?
for a little bit of context for both Kyle and the viewers here, in junior year of high school, we discovered a fucking Roblox forum, and we started
Not the
like
official one. The official one was like closed at that point.
yeah, it was just like a random one, and we started screwing around with everybody on there with our own like our own pseudonyms and shit. And
It
I
wasn't
was
harmful
the
or anything. It was just fun.
yeah, no, it was just it was like light fucking around. It wasn't like big fucking around. And I was the emoji entrepreneur. That was my username, and my profile picture was like a poorly drawn version of Gene from the Emoji Movie, drawn in MS Paint.
I'm surprised that never came up as a suggestion, honestly.
I was just honestly
Oh, the Emoji
fucking
Movie.
terrified because I go to the Death Wiki because I forgot what the Dark Lord's name was, and I saw that his page was edited a day ago by someone who I didn't recognize, and I went, "Oh shit, are they changing our pages?" But no.
So yeah, you really brought back a lot of memories with that one.
Yeah.
Are you the emoji entrepreneur? Anyway, hey, would you guys recommend the podcast? Would you say that the
No.
Keep It just sound as good?
I would recommend.
I would not recommend it now.
No,
Not.
absolutely not.
This is
The
the
only
worst
reason I would-
review thing we've ever had.
It's because I'm in it, and
What?
I don't know. That would just feel weird.
I'd recommend it.
I recommend every piece of media that contains Will. That's my one.
All
Like
of
what?
those
Criteria.
weird like PE health class videos.
Oh my god, those are lost. Those are lost. These things are overcome.
Well, okay. Here's
that was
the
Nick.
thing.
That was in every single one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess hot take here. I would show someone the one episode of a Square Inch that we did and be like, "You like this?" Because
Why
if
does
so,
Luke
I have
sound like
like
he's in a
hours
cave?
and hours of this content.
I'm
And
sorry
give
to
it to him.
I'm sorry to derail again. I'm looking at the recent
There's no
things
real.
on the Death Wiki, and some guy. It's not even a named guy. Before the Algamoth thing, I was looking at the summaries, and Luke fixed a typo. Before that, a wiki user commented on Admiral Zhao from Avatar's page and said, "Bro, he." And then after Luke's edit, they commented again and said he died.
Bro,
Bro, he died?
That's a Zach moment right there.
The award
Bro.
for the person who wasn't on the podcast but probably should have been.
Zach.
Oh yeah,
Season 2?
Side story here. While I was walking my dog right before the podcast started. And Zach called me while I was outside, and I answered the phone, and we had a nice short conversation. Actually, no, it was like 10 minutes. It was a good length
fuck! I
conversation.
just hurt my arm.
Nice.
Okay, and then we
Right,
went upstairs, and then I was like, "Oh shoot, it's 8:30. I gotta be here." And I was like, "Zach, I'll talk to you later."
Wow,
we never heard
that
from
story
him
really
again.
went nowhere. I was, I thought
You guys
Is
that
this,
wanna hear
the
about my
first,
hurt
is this the
arm?
first Connor story that was made by someone else?
no,
Not the
definitely
first.
not. There have been others.
Do you want to hear about my hurt
Why
arm
did I get
instead of
signed
that?
out?
Not really.
Connor,
Are
there's
you
some,
guys are we pretty much wrapped up here? I mean,
I don't want it to end. This will be the 24-hour stream. that we
I
were thinking
still
about.
think
We're not
someone
doing
should
that.
get shot, but we shouldn't reveal who gets
What?
shot unless we do another
Are
episode.
you gonna shoot someone?
Okay,
Well,
you know what?
no.
I'll edit in like a. Well, actually, first of all, I should say if you want to email us for whatever reason, you can at acubichintersound@gmail.com.
We'll
I'm
get a kick
gonna
out of it,
edit
please
in
do.
a gun. What did you say, Will?
I said we'll get a kick out of it, please do.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
suck
we
Luke's
will.
dick.
No, it's over.
Yeah, no,
Actually,
this is
wait.
last-
So
this is
the
last
exact
chance.
average runtime of an episode is a minute. Sorry,
What?
I
Rico
wish.
really brought it down.
an hour, 4 minutes, and 46 seconds. So if we wanted to try and hit that on the nose, that'd be kind of cool.
No, what are we gonna gain from having an
I'm
average
putting
episode?
unrealistic expectations on you, Luke. You can now drop the ball a second time.
Okay, so does anyone have any comments they want to make just to go out to the world before we wrap
And
up?
I don't.
Thank
It was
you.
Admiral-
the most significant
Admiral
emotional
Zhao-
journey of
Bro,
my life.
he?
Admiral Zhao
He
on the
died?
Death Wiki.
Oh, Harrison Ford is a sex icon. All right.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, Harrison Ford is a
oh, yeah,
sex icon. Thank you.
let's-
That was
Yeah,
good.
we gotta
Lesbians
say
and grandfathers is like a thing.
Mhm. Okay,
Admiral
so
Zhao was born in 2009 and died in 2009.
so
Wiki is 100% true.
Wait. I have a question, real quick.
what?
Luke, you were gonna introduce the podcast as like something every single episode. You did it like twice, and then you never did it again. Do you remember what that was? Like this
What?
is the amazing cubic inch sound or something like that.
Very special episode.
I-
Very special episode. That's what it was.
Oh, that was just for Clone High because it was a very special
Oh.
episode.
Yeah.
Because Clone
Oh.
High before every episode they say a very special episode of Clone High.
That's cool.
And I think I did. I think I did it
what
for
is
Highway
really
Blossoms
funny-
too because it actually was a very
way,
special
way
episode.
back in the 1980s.
My methodology for
gonna get a copyright
ending
claim.
the fun facts was just whenever like someone finally made a comment about the actual topic at hand, and like 99% of the time it was Luke saying, "So, how'd you guys feel about X?" It was just really funny.
Yeah, I'm
every
not good
time.
with transitions, bro. Not good with
I like
segues.
the implication that if Luke had not corralled us, we would have talked about that preliminary topic forever.
I genuinely believe that. Yeah.
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 So anyway,
a whole episode
to-
on Stuart Big.
I
Wait,
feel like
I have one more
I'm
thing to say. I
still
have one more
trying to
thing to say
corral
before-
people. What?
Do we have as many endings as Highway Blossoms yet?
I don't know. We've probably got more than Lord of the Rings by now, dude. So here's what we're gonna do, right?
Not the movie.
I'm gonna edit in a gunshot emoji. I'm not an emoji, a sound effect. Once I'll put an emoji in too for the video. Once I stop talking, and then everybody's gonna gasp, and we're not gonna know who got shot, which could be multiple people or could be no one. Nobody really knows. We're not gonna know who gets shot until next season if the network decides to renew us. Okay, you guys
Ooh,
ready?
that's brutal.
Please, I have a wife.